I'm going to share my brief thoughts on Copenhagen. I would say that the outcome, in my mind, is muddled. It's not really clear. There was a lot of confusion. And there was some progress and there were some setbacks as well. And our role there at the Nature Conservancy, we had three priorities. We were working on the role of forest carbon, working on adaptation to help people survive, and on the financial mechanism. And we worked hard with the formal treaty process. We had representatives from 10 different countries there working on our team. And in terms of forest carbon, you've heard a little bit already tonight about RED, which is reduced emissions from deforestation and degradation. Forest loss accounts for about 15% of global emissions every year. We won't solve climate change unless we stop these emissions. So progress was made on that. In addition, the U.S. pledged $1 billion to address deforestation. 4 other countries stepped up, and cumulatively $3.5 billion was pledged to stop deforestation. However, the issue of the role of subnationals, of states, was one of the most contentious parts of that negotiation. That was left hanging because the Copenhagen Accord did not tie up to the actual negotiations that were going on, so that was part of the muddled outcome. In terms of ecosystem-based adaptation, there was a lot of progress made. People now accept that notion. People want to help the most at-risk people around the world survive the impacts of climate change. So there's progress was made on that. And the third, on finance, there was again progress there in that a short-term fund of $30 billion to be developed over 3 years was supported, and there was talk of supporting an annual fund of $100 billion to be in place by 2020. Now, the devil's in the details. They were not forthcoming, so it was a muddled outcome. But a lot of that money would be available to help people in nature adapt to climate change. So I'm optimistic still. I think the process is grinding on. We saw today the announcement on the pledge and review system for emission reductions. It's a voluntary system, doesn't have the strength that Kyoto does. And that's one of the other uncertainties, is how the Kyoto Protocol, what will happen to that in the future. Will it continue, or will there be another treaty? So ultimately, 5 countries kind of cut the deal, and I'm taking Tony's 10 seconds. You're going to pay for it. And I think that's the future. It's going to be small groups of leaders. 155, the leaders of 115 nations were there to address climate change. That's a major, major outcome. It's on the table globally, so we'll see what happens. Thank you.